understand why fishing pressure affects bass. It's because bass evolve to learn very quickly. And a lot of people understand that if you have like a bad cold front comes through, or say, for example, the water gets really muddy, or there's some environmental condition that comes along that makes fishing tough, it's the same thing when fishing pressure hits the lake and the noise decibels go up. It's like bass get inactive during periods that are not prime feeding periods. And like I said, a bad front that passes through, flooding conditions, whatever that may have, bass sort of turn off and they don't bite as well. And they have evolved to do the same thing with fishing pressure and with noise. So it's a biological defense mechanism that you're dealing with against the bass. So here's some things that you can do on heavily fished bodies of water or when fish are getting a lot of fishing pressure. Number one, and this is probably some of the best advice I can give you guys, is put down all of your lures that are reaction baits. Like your crankbaits, your spinner baits, your chatter baits, your topwaters, swim baits, glide baits, anything that moves horizontal through the water system. Those baits that move horizontal through the water system, the bass have to chase those lures, and they have to be active to a certain extent to want to leave the cover or the ambush point that they are to go after a crankbait or something that's moving past them. It takes a lot of effort on their part to chase something. When you have a noisy, loud, heavily fished body of water, bass don't want to do that. Therefore, in a heavily fished body of water, your bottom bouncing lures, your baits that are on the bottom, are going to get a lot more strikes. That's why plastic worms, creature baits, shaky heads, drop shots, Ned rigs, any type of bait that you can work along the bottom and ease along the bottom, you're going to get a lot more bites because the bass don't have to chase those lures. So that's the first thing, is go to a bottom bouncing lure. The next thing that you have to do is you got to downsize. It doesn't matter the size of fish that you're after, you have got to downsize on heavily pressured lakes. So in other words, if you're throwing a shaky head and you normally like to use a 6-inch zoom trick worm, go to a little 4-inch model. Or, if you're using a jig, go to a little finesse jig model. Or if you're using, a Ned rig or something like that, go to a little light head on it. Something really, really finessey. Downsize your line, and guys, you're going to get a lot more bites by downsizing with those bottom bouncing lures. That is huge, what I just told you. The next thing that you have to do is you have to be stealthy. You can't just roll in on an area, slop through it, and run up to the front of the boat and put your trolling motor down and make a bunch of noise, and then get your rods ready and make a bunch of noise in the boat, or